Hail Biafra! This is Biafra Liberation Army Network coming to you again. Please do subscribe, like, share, and comment. I know for no other just cause you want to see Nnamdi Kanu today. He's our brother. He's our love. He's our daddy. He's our freedom fighter. He's our defender. He wants to use his life to defend you and defend me. Just come around today on this channel to see him live again. Mazi was in court today, and I have to release the video where you will see him kuro kuro. I know you are happy. Seeing him alone, at least he's still alive. But he's looking pale. You understand? So please, join me to see him and thank Chukwukika Biama, who sustained life in him. If it's not God, his enemy would have killed him since. But God is in charge. Even most of his enemies are dying, they are going down. But he's still alive. So let us watch him and then listen to what both Mike Ozokome has to say and what the analyzer of this, the owner of this video has to say to Biafra.
The leader of the indigenous people. Today is 15th of December 2023. Supreme Court to decide Nnamdi Kanu's destiny today. All is now set for the Supreme Court to deliver judgment to decide the fate of the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu today. Nnamdi Kanu has been in detention since June 2021 when he was arrested in Kenya and subjected to extraordinary detention to Nigeria. With his return, the Nigeria government arraigned him before the Federal High Court in Abuja on a 4-count charge of treasonable felony, conspiracy to commit treasonable felony, illegal importation of radio equipment, and defamation of former President of Nigeria, Muhammadu Buhari. The charges were later withdrawn by the former Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Mandami, who replaced them with a fresh 14-count charge bordering on terrorism and membership of a proscribed group. The court reduced the charge to 7 counts, which the appeal court later quashed. Dismissed by the verdict of the appeal court, the Nigeria government filed an appeal at the Supreme Court. Commenting on the much-anticipated judgment, an Abuja-based social-political activist, Deji Adeyinju, said the Supreme Court should admit Kanu to bail. He said, "My hope is that the Supreme Court will deliver a judgment that is acceptable to everyone. But no matter what the Supreme Court delivers, it will not be acceptable to some." In the case of Ojukwu versus the Lagos State government, once the right-thinking members of the public go home, believing that the judiciary is biased, then it defeats the purpose for which the judiciary was set up. Our appeal to our judges is that they should deliver a judgment that will make citizens have confidence in the judiciary. Politicians must not be bad losers. They must learn to accept defeat when they lose elections. Kanu should be admitted to bail. Bail is not an escape from justice. It is an opportunity for the defendant to amply defend himself. In my view, this idea of turning people into political prisoners is unacceptable. Those two applications. Now, Nnamdi Kanu has been going to court for so many times, from the Federal High Court to the Appeal Court. They have dismissed the federal government's case against Nnamdi Kanu and they charged Nnamdi Kanu acquitted. It was the federal government that also went to this Supreme Court. But it is very important for you to know the level of the judgment that was delivered before today. Listen to Nnamdi Kanu counsel, the senior advocate of Nigeria, Mike Ozokome, as he speaks.
All the 15 counts in the charge are bad, and bad. Like I described it before the court, they are as dead as dodo. All that the court requires is to give them a decent burial. Because there is nothing whatsoever in the counts at all. You are accusing Nnamdi Kanu of making some broadcast. You didn't say where this broadcast was made. Was he made in the spirit world? Was he made in the air? Was he made under the ground? You didn't state. That was to run away from the first count they had fired, which we attacked when they had mentioned the United Kingdom. So they thought that by not mentioning a place, they had gotten away from it. But as a matter of fact, they had worsened their case, because the Federal High Court Act says specifically, Section 34, that you must state the very location, specific location where an offense has been committed. That is one. They couldn't state any. They say made brokers, and that the brokers were in furtherance of some treasonable acts. For you to charge a person with furthering treason, you must have to charge the person with treason. Nnamdi Kanu is not charged with treason here. We call it the predicate offense. It is from this predicate offense that the acts of furthering will emanate. So they are building castles on empty air. There's nothing to support it. You are saying that the brokers he made led to protests, violent protests in the east and in Lagos, affecting Lagos' transportation system. Does this court have jurisdiction territorially over Lagos and matters that happen near Uli, near Ihiala, in Anambra State? No. Does this court have jurisdiction over matters if there was an offense committed, for example, say in UK? Does this court have jurisdiction over matters that happen in UK? Answer, no. Because this court cannot exercise jurisdiction on matters within a sovereign land, another country that has sovereignty under international law. Another major point is that you are trying this man, saying for committing, for belonging to a proscribed organization. And I must now say this, contrary to what the prosecution said last time. Nnamdi Kanu has never denied being a member of IPOB. He says, I am not a member of proscribed IPOB. I want all of you to know the difference. And when IPOB was proscribed through the court process, Nnamdi Kanu challenged it. The matter is at the Court of Appeal currently. Nobody knows the judgment of the Court of Appeal. If the Court of Appeal finally says that this proscription was wrong, as we are contending, let's say by that time you had already tried Nnamdi and jailed him, how will you bring him back? So you are trying him under a law that is inchoate, that is being challenged, whose efficacy and longevity is being tested and has not been finished. So we call it lite pendes, or the doctrine of sub judice. So you cannot. So Nnamdi Kanu, in his extrajudicial statement, said he founded IPOB in 2012 in London, and that is the head. He has never denied being the founder, head, and member of IPOB, but he denies being a member of proscribed IPOB. This point must be made clear. We have also challenged the entire law itself, the Terrorism Prevention Act as amended of 2011 as amended in 2013. Now, it is not a law within the exclusive legislative list of the National Assembly that it ought to have made. It has no competence to make it under the Constitution. We have also challenged that. There are other grounds, very strong grounds, where we are challenging that. For example, you brought this man, you abducted him by force, you tortured him, you captured him like a common criminal in Kenya. A British citizen who had gone to Kenya voluntarily, you captured him, you abducted him, and you rendered him to Nigeria by force without going through any extradition process. And all the laws governing this matter, like Article 12, sub 4, Article 34 of the African Charter of Human and People's Rights, like sections 4 to 6 of the terrorism and other acts within the Commonwealth jurisdiction, and even Part 5A of the guidelines issued pursuant to the African Charter on Human and People's Rights say that before you can try a person for an offense, you have to show that the person was rendered freely and voluntarily, lawfully, to your country from the country where he was, maybe as a fugitive or as a visitor. But Nnamdi Kanu was captured in Kenya and brought here extrajudicially to Nigeria to face trial. That cannot make any count based on that.
Thank you very much, Barrister Mike Osokume, for going there at least for Nnamdi Kanu to see you guys that, oh, somebody is still standing behind him, not knowing all that you have signed. That is actually, I don't know. In fact, it is well. It is well. Ojidekena Lajonwe, all of you that have hand in the continued detention of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, you are holding yourself. You are holding your peace. You are holding your life. So release him, let him go. His hands are clean. He is the fighter for his people. Not because of him, but because of you and because of I. So let us continue to have faith and keep faith that God, who has started this good thing for him and for us, to bring it to a conclusive end. Thank you. God bless you all.